Hello, what's up, my friends? Welcome back to Your Push Coach. My name is Josh. I am your push coach, and I'm so excited to hang out with you today. My eyes are looking rough right now. If you're watching this on YouTube, I just got home from St. Louis, where my son Paxton had another heart procedure, and did not sleep very much while in the hospital. Today is my first day back sleeping in my own bed last night. So kind of want to just give a quick update on that. I sent an email about it, updated the Facebook family, but not everybody sees everything because everybody's busy. So some of you know that my youngest son, Paxton, went through 3 different heart surgeries before the age of 3. And then since then, he's been really good. Just had some minor procedures here and there to do some stents. If you don't know a lot about that, basically open heart surgery, obviously we all know what that is. But for more minor things, a lot of times they can go through the main artery, like in your groin, and basically put a wire up your main artery up into your heart. And they can do like little fixes there. Like they have little stents they can put in to reinforce some areas. Looks like a little like actually looks like you ever seen the finger handcuffs from like the 90s? It looks like that, but it's like wire, and they use that to reinforce areas that need it, and then they can balloon that to widen up different spots. So he's had several of those done over the last several years just to kind of reinforce the work that he got done when he was younger. But now he's 14. He has finally done some growing, and because of that, most of the work that was done at such a young age, we were told, eventually at some point he's going to get to an age where we're going to have to go in there and upgrade some things to go with him into his adult body. And so we went to St. Louis to kind of get things looked at. They were hoping that maybe they could actually use a stent to go ahead and replace one of the main parts that had been done when he was 2.5. Unfortunately, they weren't able to do that, but they were able to reinforce enough other areas that he won't need his major surgery for another year or 2. So sometime in the next 1 to 2 years, he will need another major surgery to actually go in there. And when they do it this time, they'll just go ahead and kind of like update and upgrade anything and everything in there that needs to be done. So it'll probably be a pretty big procedure, but thankfully not for another year or 2. I mean, I don't, it's kind of one of those things. It's like there's no good time. There's no good time to do that kind of stuff. But for now, he is, recovering from his minor procedure, and everything is okay. Everything is cool for now. But through this, kind of sparked some conversation between me and Kurt, who is my podcast producer. I appreciate you, bro. Thanks for everything that you do. About kind of how we can, as business owners. So as if you are an employee working at a job, it still really sucks anytime you go through personal stuff. Like personal stuff just sucks anytime, right? Like it's just always bad, right? But the one thing that's really different about being a business owner is that when you're an employee, for the most part, not all jobs, but a lot of jobs, as long as you're with, in good standing, with your boss, with your company, when you go through really hard times, they seem to understand. They know that your performance is going to go down a little bit. They know that your energy is going to be down a little bit. And there's more understanding for that. When you run a business, nobody gives a fuck. I mean, they do in the sense that, like, obviously I've gotten so many messages and so much support and love from people, but I don't get paid unless I produce something. And that makes business a really challenging thing when you're going through a lot of personal stuff. Jenny's mom, has been going through cancer the last couple of years. So Jenny has had to be her caretaker. My dad went through a major career change. My brother went through a major career change. It's like so many things have happened in the last couple of years. And as a business owner, you have to find a way to be able to clock in and out of both your personal life and your business. And that's kind of what I want to talk to you about today, because I talk to so many people that really struggle with that. And I'm not pretending for a second that I'm perfect at it, because definitely I'm not perfect at it and no one is. But I wanted to share a conversation that I had with my dad I don't know, sometime last year. I was going through like a little bit of funk in my business. And as I mentioned, my wife was caretaking for her mom. My dad was going through a career change. My brother was going through a career change. And there was just so many big emotional things that were getting stacked on top of me that the business was struggling a little bit. I mean, I was fine, my family was fine, but I was no longer in a position to be the person who could just like, oh, you need this? Let me just write a check for you. Let me just take care of that for you. I was no longer able to take care of other people the way that I used to be. And I was really struggling with it. And I remember having a phone call with my dad. And my dad gave me some of the best advice in the world. And I want to pass this off to you today. He said, Josh, first of all, you're not responsible for anybody else's finances. You're only responsible for yours. But I know that that is something that you care about a lot. And that's one of the reasons you started your business, was so that you could help take care of other people. So if that's the case, and you really do want to be able to help other people, you're going to have to find a way to stop carrying the emotional baggage of everybody else's lives so that you can go do the thing you want to do, which is make money so that you can help them. But you can't do both. You can't carry everyone's emotional baggage, because that's going to weigh on you and pull your business down. You can't do that and create the kind of business that actually can then financially support other people. So you're going to have to find a way to just say, you know what? People are going through hard things. They're going through hard times, and that sucks. And you're going to have to find a way to use that as the motivation to go do the work you need to do. And man, that was a huge moment for me. When I built my business the first time, I found a way to use the struggle of my own finances and my kids and what it was putting them through. I found that to be my superpower for finding the motivation I needed to go build the business. But I kind of forgot, when it comes to other people that are surrounded by me, I kind of got to do the same thing. And I think if you do what I do, and I'm assuming you do something similar, you might not be a life coach, but everyone that listens to this podcast is someone who does something for a living to serve others, to help others, to make the world a better place. We're very, very, very big-hearted people, or we wouldn't do what we do, right? We're very purpose-oriented, very purpose-driven. And when you care about people the way that we care about people, it's really, really, really hard not to take on some of their emotional baggage, because we want to help so much. And this was just such a huge like aha moment for me to be like, you know what? My dad is so right. The thing that is frustrating me the most is that I'm not in a financial position to do things to help them, because I don't know if you've noticed this, but money doesn't solve all problems, but it helps a lot of problems, right? Like Paxton being in the hospital this last week, I had to take a lot of time off from work. And if you have money, that's not that big of a deal, right? You can just be there, take care of your family. If you don't have money, now all of a sudden it's a really big deal, because you're trying to figure out how to pay the bills and how to take care of your kid. And that was the situation I was in when he was younger. And I hated that feeling, right? So, if your dad is going through a career change and you don't have money to help him, well, that sucks. If you do have money to help him, it's not as big of a deal. So money doesn't solve all problems, but it softens the blow of a lot of problems. It definitely makes it easier to deal with those problems. And so I just came to this moment where I said, okay, Josh, we are no longer going to spend our time and energy worrying about other people's problems. What we're going to do is what we do best. We're going to lean into the business, and we're going to help solve problems that the business can solve, so that we can get our money right, so that we can then do the things to help people when they are going through things. And I'm not pretending this is easy. I'm not pretending that you can just do it with the flip of a switch, but I had to get really, really, really good at knowing how to clock in for my business and how to clock out for my business, how to clock in for being there to help people and support people, and how to clock out. And it's a very, very probably more like masculine thing. And I tend to really, I talk a lot about the masculine and the feminine. We need both to be successful in business. We need both to be successful in life. And this is probably a little bit more of a masculine thing to say, you know what? I just got to clock out from this. I can't afford to spend my entire day worrying about something that I can't currently fix. And so that was literally an affirmation I started using when I would wake up in the middle of the night sometimes, just thinking about all of the problems that everyone I knew was going through. I would literally start to say, if I can't fix the problem right now, I'm not going to carry the burden right now. If I can't fix the problem right now, I'm not going to carry the burden right now. And that was just a way of just like helping myself to come to a realization of, I'm not actually helping the problem right now. I'm making it worse. I'm not actually fixing anything. I'm just making things worse by getting myself stressed out, by getting myself emotional, by making my own production, my own performance go down. That's not going to help anybody. And, in business, we also have to do this the same with leadership. You can't control whether or not everyone else shows up. You got to do what you can control and let go of everything you can control. And so if you're out there going through a hard time in your personal life, and I feel like a lot of people have been the last couple of years, I hope that this helps you in some way to just I want to give you permission to stop carrying everyone else's burdens and instead focus on what are the things you actually can do to help. What are the things you actually can control that could contribute, and let go of everything else. I hope that helps. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you to everyone who sent me messages, who showed love on my posts about Paxton's time in St. Louis. I love you all so much. I believe in you so friggin' much. Please remember, everything you need living on the inside, all the resources you'll ever need right under your nose. Have an amazing day, friends, and I'll see you soon.